For me, fishing has been a part of my whole life. From the time I could walk, I've been traveling and fishing to chase and hook the big one. My name is Janus Figure, and I live in the deserts of Nevada.
Fishing is more than a hobby for me. It's my life. Leading fishing expeditions, traveling to the most remote parts of the world for the catch of a lifetime. My name is Alan Broderick, and I'm from Ireland.
This is Wild Fish, Wild Places.
You know, the first 4 days here have been amazing. The people are great, the food is great, and the scenery is out of this world. It's just green and lush. It's like playing on a golf course all day. And the weather has been so brutal.
Irish liquid sunshine.
What is it?
Irish liquid Irish sunshine here.
We couldn't put the boats on the water one day. We had to take an hour drive to a river one day, and it's just getting really frustrating.
Oh.
Just lost it. We've had unbelievably bad weather. So last night we tried to break the curse. We went into a local pub. The whole crew, everybody had a pint of Guinness. Here's the good luck. And look, beautiful. We should have started the first day.
This is good weather.
What's that?
This is good weather now.
It is?
Beautiful. I mean, the winds are down. You don't need sun for Pike. I joined the boys yesterday morning late because I was about the business of getting my truck back on the road. And it was wonderful to know that they're well capable of looking after themselves. These guys are very, very good boatmen.
Normally, from what we know, it would still be tough fishing today because the pressure's rising. 6 feet.
We started working on the pattern that Barry had shown us about 3 days earlier, which is basically flow trolling, a dead bait type of operation, but instead of using dead bait, we substitute a big rubber shad.
There you go, Dennis. All right. On the float rig again.
On the float rig again.
There we go.
That's a nice fish.
Nice fish.
That's a nice fish, brother.
All right.
But never having seen it employed in this type of method. And we now realise that the fish from anything that we've caught are covering these argillus, which are freshwater lice. And that just really reinforces the fact the fish are on the bottom and they're not going to chase anything down.
First cast, a little guy, but you know, at the start. Just lost a fish. As soon as I put it out, it went down, and he took my tail. This is the last of that color, too. Get this guy back in the water. He's a trooper. He's been fighting good.
That's a very handy device, Dennis,
Yeah.
for releasing fish.
Yeah, these
Particularly a predatory fish with big teeth.
yeah, they're absolutely a necessity. These ones are. There he goes.
Look at that fish go. Way to go. We're really getting a handle on things now. We can see that the way we're working around the system, we're starting to get results. We had a number of fish yesterday, and all of them are on very slow trolled methods. I even had 2 fish on a flow troll dead bait, but the key seems to be the rubber shad. And even all my knowledge of these rivers, and particularly the whole Janus system in this area, has been really truly tested. One of the keys to hooking fish is to make sure that at least at the business end everything's in order. Your hooks are sharp, your leader's okay, and all the ball bearing swivels and attachments are working. where this marker buoy is in the water. That's a nice fish, Dennis.
Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that pike. That's a fat, heavy pike. We've been working hard. Finally got one to pay off. So these fish are starting to turn on. We've got about 3 in the last couple of hours.
Yeah, less than an hour. That's a big fish.
Yeah, we're gonna get back out to the float rig. We'll show you what we're using. Barry's little secret, and we'll go from there. Let's get him back in the water.
Yesterday turned out to be a day of almost 2 halves. We went out in expectation of better weather improvements, and of course the weather gave us a kick in the teeth. Look at this. This is your typical Irish weather at the moment. When I say typical, just typical during our visit. It's not normal, but it's been typical for the week. And it's absolutely very cold today. But what we did find was we found fish offshore. And Dennis and I were starting to hook fish, trolling lures, actually big, deep divers, 18, 20 feet down, bouncing rock piles, well offshore, well away from the actual shoreline. And that to me was a great sense of satisfaction to wrap up our time here in Lough Ree.
Richard at St. John's, where we're staying, gave us a little tip. He caught him and his niece caught a pretty nice pike out off this point. And so we're gonna slip in here and see if we can't see what's hanging out.
Well done, Dennis.
All right. Hooked good. Look at how he ate that thing.
When a pike hits swimming prey, live prey, they hit it from the side invariably, and in one move they can turn it and take it head first. And the reason being, the pike then is able to clamp the gills of the prey fish closed, so that it'll slide down the throat. If they took it in reverse, tail first, the gills open and will choke the pike on the esophagus. Good. All right, let him go.
After fishing this lake for a few days, we decided to go back to what we know is working a little bit. We put together a little bit of a pattern with the float rig.
So this is my traditional deadbait rig. Main line, we've got a sliding stop knot there, 2 beads to stop this jamming on the knot. It's a cigar-shaped polystyrene float, more beads, stop knot, and then the leader joins the main line. Now at the business end, this is where the interesting part comes. We've adapted, Dennis, as you know, basically a deadbait rig with a rubber shad, or even indeed a swim bait. And for whatever reason, it makes a subtle movement that seems to call these fish that are negative to neutral that you and I cannot get on traditional deadbait.
And the wind comes up. It starts pushing us out, and this float system that we were relying on isn't working. We're pushing out at like 2 miles an hour, and it's just not happening. So we have to go back to a trolling pattern, and that's what we decided to do, try to put it together. Jump pike, nice little trolling pike. Yeah, it's a little bigger actually.
Look at the colour. Yeah. Bronzy though.
Exact same spot back there. Right at that 24-foot shelf. Ernie Killarney, which our director has christened him. Mr. Killarney here coming aboard. Nice fat chunky fish. Look at the belly on him, yeah.
Zebra mussels. We've colonised the lakes here in recent years. But it means, when I look at that, the lure's doing the business. It's down where she should be in the strike zone, hitting the bottom, bouncing like that all the way along the rocks, trying to call up a pike. I've mixed feelings today because on one hand we're leaving this wonderful place here at St John's Point, here on Loch Ree. Richard and Liz have been our wonderful hosts looking after us.
You have Rindoon lamb, probably the ones you saw outside.
Homegrown.
Relatives of.
The locals. But on the other hand, I'm actually really excited because we have a new adventure laid out before us. It's almost like a path to the Yellow Brick Road. We're staying with Pascal Brissot on the eastern side of Lower Loch Earn, and a number of great adventures, including a voyage on a cruiser. So wow, this should be a real exciting week ahead of us.
And we're very much looking forward to see what the rest of Ireland has to offer for scenery.
We came up to Fish Loch Earn and arrived and checked into our accommodation. Then we moved on and came up to the cruiser hire berthing, which is run by Carrickcraft. Good morning, it's Alan Broderick here. We have a reservation for the Waterford Class 6 berth boat for 9 o'clock, please. Okay. Many thanks. Bye-bye. And we've taken this fantastic 8-berth cruiser. Now, I used to do this when I was a young guy with my buddies, and this is a hell of a lot of fun. But to us, for Dennis and I, it's a serious, serious undertaking. It means we've got limitless opportunities. No one telling us what time to come back for dinner, what time breakfast is at. We're going to do this ourselves, self-catering. And we are free agents, captains of our own ship, masters of our own destiny. This is awesome.
We've made it to Loch Earn, so we went and got a cruiser. Well, we had a couple hours to kill before we were going to meet up with a historian. We wanted to go scout around, see if we could find where these fish are staging. Usually where you find big pike, you'll find other big pike. And where you find little pike, you won't find big pike. This is what we find. Black bulldog. Nice little pike. Nice little pike. Little jack pike in the shallows. Beautiful.
This afternoon, we had a meeting arranged to meet up with John Cunningham, who holds a master's degree in history. He's a world's authority on this Fermanagh Lakeland region's history. And this was something that is very close to my heart, and I was really looking forward to this for a very, very long time. And today we're going to have a chat with John on camera about Bow Island, the history of Bow Island, and in particular, these 2 stone figures that date back, we believe, in excess of 2,000 years. We're here today with John Cunningham, a well-known historian from Beleek, County Fermanagh, who's the author of over 40 books on the history of this area and in particular Ulster. John, thank you very much for visiting with us today and meet up with Dennis and I.
Hey John, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for your
John,
time.
we're standing on this stone figure.
Yes, this is called the Janus Figure, or even miscalled the Janus Figure, because Janus was a god figure of the Romans, and the Romans didn't come to Ireland. But any statue with two heads, two faces on it, is called a Janus figure, because the Roman god Janus had two heads, and one head looked out of the house to promote, to safeguard the house, and the other looked into the house to promote peace and harmony inside the house. The ancient Celts believed that the power of the soul and the power of the body resided in the head. So whenever they defeated somebody important in battle, they took off their head and brought it back and put it outside their house as a token of adding that person's power to their power.
We spent a good deal of time this afternoon trolling around over these windswept shoals looking for the ferox trout, the elusive, ferocious one. And it was a little chilly, but absolutely beautiful.
We put in a really long day today. The weather was choppy and rough on the water, and we had this driving wind coming in off the Atlantic, which is only a short distance over the hills. So when Dennis and I got in tonight on the cruiser, which is absolute luxury, afloat, we were chilled to the bone, damp, and the boys had cooked us up a wonderful spaghetti dinner, and with a bottle of wine to top it off. Gee, you can't get better than this.
You've noticed on the show the last couple of weeks, we've been wearing these little hats. They're made by Current Wear, and they're these cool little products, unique, and we love them. We've been putting them to the test the last couple of weeks here in Ireland, getting them soaked. We've been out early, coming in late, and they are a great little item.
I think, Dennis, from anyone's standpoint, if you're a DIY guy, angler, whatever, this is the best thing since sliced bread for me. I used to wear a little headlamp. I used to have a little torch in my mouth. I always dropped them overboard, walked on them, mislaid them, couldn't find them.
Right.
This now is my piece of headwear. I wear my nice hat. It's
Right.
a lovely piece of work.
Right.
And then you've the benefit of a solar panel passively charging it all day long. You've great long life. I think about 30 hours of lighting from it.
Right.
And when you need it, it's there to work. Now tonight, guys, we're going to do a bit of dead bait fishing. The light's fading very quickly. Already, we can see what we're doing.
Right. It's great. I mean, they're light on your head. They fit good. What
They're
else can you ask
terrific.
for?
I
No
think-
batteries.
Yeah, I think very clever.
Yeah,
clever
very much.
product. I've never fished on Lower Lough Erne, so it was a whole new experience for me, and I have to say it's a beautiful place. The scenery is stunning, and you know, as a fisherman, you get an adrenaline rush when you're fishing in new water. Very cold, isn't it, for the time of year? Yeah, absolutely. A lot of high water, we noticed. Pardon? Yeah.
So we got up early. We wanted to get some good light. That was the whole purpose of getting the cruiser, getting out, fishing from daylight till dark. And Alan has minimal success. We catch one fish casting up into the shallow weed bed.
Foul hook.
Foul hook.
Under the
Pike.
chin. Ooh, a strong water. Can't even see him. It's a real indication. That's a nice little fellow. Look at the little brown guy. The lure's nearly as big as he is. Yes, indeed. There he goes. Huge change in the pH of the water with all the leaching of the tannins and the acids coming out of the peat bogs when the river flows through. And you can see it visually. The water's almost like strong tea with no milk in. That is a major negative for us to try and catch pike.
We didn't catch very many fish, but you know what? This place was beautiful and wild, and we were a long ways from anywhere, and it was a lot of fun.
We had a fantastic experience aboard our Carrickcraft cruiser. You know, it's a great way to explore a new water, but particularly a large body of water like Lough Erne system. And to be on a cruiser, you can go into all these off-the-beaten-track nooks and crannies, and you find fabulous places to tie off at night time. And I can tell you, that's one holiday I would never, never pass up for any opportunity.
After a couple of days on the cruiser, I was excited to get back to the watermill for a nice meal.